wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. Check, we Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us.
Participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
You're talking to the Rolex.
Limo jet flying. Of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I been like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us.
Well, it looks like it's gonna be one of them days. It looks like it's gonna be one of the days. My music ain't working, but it's all gravy because we gonna cut the music. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you guys can hear me out there in TV land and YouTube land and everything like that. Listen, man. As you can clearly listen, man, I really wanted to come on here with my Rocket Mortgage Hornet shirt. That's how I really wanted to play it, but I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to buy me a couple more shirts to keep up with, my stuff, because I got kids around here nowadays and stuff like that. So I can't find nothing. And as Mr. Campbell would say, my office is like organized chaos, but it's just chaos right now. You know what I'm saying? So I can't find nothing. I was gonna come here with my Rocket Mortgage Hornet shirt because that's how I'm feeling today. That's really how I'm feeling today. But I'm going to hit some hot topics, and we're going to get into the main topic today of fair and foul. And if anybody got something to say about my Cowboys, I do not have a problem driving Mozzie Smith. Now, would I have preferred Nolan Smith? Absolutely. But, hey, we do need to lock up the trenches. We do need to stop the run, okay? So, We're a pretty good draft team, so I ain't worried about it. Worry about your damn team. Worry about your damn team, okay? Okay. All right, now let's move on. Little hot topic today. Want to give you a quick reminder. The show was amazing. The show was absolutely amazing. Shout out to Massapala. Shout out to my man Liddell Bugs for coming through. Great info. You guys can go check that out on the replay. Great information that they were dropping. Some great jewels they were dropping as well. Make sure you guys go check that out as well. All right, couple hot topics. Listen, I don't know why this picture is so funny to me. When I saw it, I was like, damn, that's crazy. But my man said, you will not catch me slipping. I'm taking my ass home. All right, he says, Will Levis is not staying in Kansas City for the second night of the NFL draft. He said, I am taking my ass home and all my white ladies with me. Okay, so listen, man. It's okay, man. It's okay, man. Listen, you'll probably get drafted. You know, just keep your head up, young buck. That boy was sad. Yo, that gotta be, listen, man, that has to be the worst feeling, right? That has to be the worst feeling when you seeing everybody around you get drafted. You know what I'm saying? You dapping up everybody. Oh, yeah, man, yeah, you know, because you want to be supportive. You know what I'm saying? So you be like, hey, man, good job, man. Yeah. You know, and yeah, you like, I'm going next. You know what I'm saying? You like, hey, man, good job, man. You know, they walking past you, dapping them up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, good. You know what I'm saying? Good job, bro. And then you just sitting there. Nah, sir. But hey, man, that boy said, I'm taking my ass home. F this draft, okay? F this draft. So it is what it is, man. Should have took your butt fishing. So, all right. A couple more announcements, man. Listen, shout out to these two youngsters, man. 2 5-star decommits from University of Arkansas to HBCUs. Morgan Price, Fisk University, you already know what that is, and Martavius Thomas, Grambling State University. Shout out to them, all right? Want to give a quick shout out to them for them making those decisions and changing the game, as well as, respect to Shiloh. Listen, you can say whatever you want about him. No, that boy loves some Jackson, man. He is Jackson through and through. This is a great alum to have. He loves the city of Jackson. He embodies the city of Jackson. So if you have an opportunity to go and check that out at the M Bar, go check that out Saturday, April 29th, man. He is JSU through and through. All right. He gonna come back for the homecomings. They probably gonna have him coming out with the band one time, part of the J5. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. He wanted to do it anyway. All right, so I know that's what it is. He's going to Colorado, but real talk, Shiloh is JSU through and through. Okay, like all jokes aside, Shiloh is Jackson State through and through. Loves the city. The city loves him. He good. Okay, he good in Jackson. His card is good everywhere in Jackson. Okay, now the other two, I don't know. The other two, I can't speak on them. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to be rolling with Shiloh, you know what I'm saying, to be good. You know what I'm saying? But Shiloh and Jackson, oh, he good. He good. You know what I'm saying? Shiloh and Jackson is like this, right? Let me kind of explain. I think this is me. I think Shiloh and Jackson is like this. You know, if something happened, let's say somebody didn't know Shiloh was back in the city, his truck gets broken into. Shiloh's the type of dude that can go talk to a dude and be like, hey, man, listen, man. I don't want no problems, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love Jackson. I love Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to need my shit back. Now, I'm going to give you 48 hours. I'm going to give whoever, you go talk to whoever did whatever. 48 hours, I want my shit back. All right? And then, that's the feeling I get with Shiloh. Now, Shador and Dion, yeah, they're gonna have to roll with Shiloh. They're gonna have to roll with Shiloh. The Shiloh, like, hey, this my city. You know what I'm saying? This is my city. This is my home. So Shout out to Shiloh, man. Shout out to the alumni thing that he got going on. Make sure you go check yourself out the M-Bar, April 29th, man. Go support if you're down in Jackson and watching this. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, at the end of the day, man, like, he's an alum. He is an alum of JSU forever. All right. So no matter where he goes from here or there, point there, he is your alum. Go support him. Go do what he does. And you know he loves some Jackson. And you know that boy loves some Jackson. All right. Now, let's get into today's show. And today's show is fair or foul. Fair or foul. Now, a lot of what you're going to see, a lot of what I'm reading off of the slides is from the article, right? So I didn't feel like snipping it. I just copied it, and so it's from the article. I'm not making anything up. The article is in the link below. All this is reported by AI. Now, there will be some information that is a little word of mouth. I heard from a herd, through the grapevine, all that type of stuff. But the vibes that this gives me is a little bit of this.
Man, we all we got. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes.
That's the vibes that this gives me. It gives me G Money. And that's the vibes. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am, but you done shot me in the back. You done shot me in the back. You get me? Like, that's the vibes that this gives me when I read it and I see it. I'm like, this gives me shot in the back. Right? But we shall continue. Right? So let's recap. Let's go back to go for it. Right? Now, mind you, right after I did my show, I don't think it was even like a day later, like not even 24 hours, A&M signs the Magic City Classic agreement with the city, right? But not with the marketing company, ASC, Alabama Sports Consortium Council, whatever that crap is called, right? They sign with the city. They do not sign with ASC, right? So going to the present, this is the article title. Alabama State signs exclusive agreement to receive $1.5 million for 2023 and 2025. Now, if you're just reading at the surface, you're like, oh snap. Alabama State done came up. Alabama State done flipped a brick. Alabama State done, they done came up. But it's a lot of ambiguity in there. It's a lot of ambiguity in there. Let me paint the picture. Okay, let me paint the picture. It's a lot of ambiguity. So, okay, right? So this guy. This is the CEO of ASC, right? His name is Gene Hallman, okay? And it says the ASC agreement remains unsigned, confirmed by Gene Hallman, this white man, okay? CEO of Eventfield, formerly Bruno Event Team, which produces the Classic, including securing sponsorships on behalf of ASC. So, A&M did not sign with them. Alabama State has, right? So where the $1.5 million is coming from is from this white man. Okay, this white man. Just want to give, I want to put a face to the name. Because you got to, listen, sometimes you can tell when a white man just don't be, you can tell when male be male just by the way they look. Got the comb over, listen, man, I've been in the military. I know the game. You knew the strict white sergeants or whatever. They got that little buzz cut. You know what I'm saying? They got that little peach fuzz in the middle. You know what it is. Same thing with white corporates. They got that comb over. You know what I'm saying? They got that real thin hair. You feel me? They be wearing like blazers that don't match none of the outfit. You get what I'm saying? You know crooked when you see it. I'm not saying he's crooked, but you just see it when you see it. Okay? You get what I'm saying? All right. So I'm just gonna listen, you know, you just call a spade by a spade. You know what I'm saying? Call a spade a spade. Now, listen, man. Listen, man. Okay. President Ross gives me vibes of like, I never said that. Like he gives me vibes like if you met him and caught him red-handed, oh no, I never did that. I never said that. Like that's the vibes that he gives me. Like he gives me politics, right? He gives me politics, right? Like he'll say something to you, right? And then say something to you and then hope y'all two never talk to really get that's the vibes. Like when I hear some of the stuff that be in some of these articles, I'm like, the vibes that you give me is you be double talking. And I don't really rock with that. That's just me personally, right? I'm not really with the politics. I'm not a politician. That like say what you mean and mean what you say. Right? So let me read this to you. All right. He says, although this should be a monumentous occasion for both Alabama State and Alabama A&M to receive the highest payout in the history of the MCC, Mississippi Classic, and undoubtedly the largest HBCU Classic football, we find ourselves at this impasse. Alabama State President Quentin Ross told AL that I have to make a decision that is in the best fiscal interest of my institution. Once again, if you're reading the tea leaves and not getting deep, you're like, I agree with that. I agree with that. And I'm going to be honest with you. Some of the stuff that I said on this channel for the years that I've been on, you're going to be like, Scotty, you're being hypocritical right now. But I'm not trying to be hypocritical. What I'm trying to do is like, I'm trying to go a level deeper, right? Like people are like, oh, Scotty, you always want to be right. I'm not always trying to be right. I just want you guys to see it from a holistic view. Like when you start taking stuff in like individual moments, you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? They got more money. They need the money or they want the money and things like that. But it's like, at what cost? That's the thing for me. At what cost? Right? At what cost? Because when you say stuff like, I did what's best for my institution, nobody is going to say that's a bad thing. Right? Nobody's going to say that's a bad thing. But when you're sitting, listen to me. When you're sitting in a situation and it's you and the person next to you and you put your mask on and you never help the next person get your mask on or never help them get their mask on. And then when you get off the airplane and they die and you live and they say, what happened? And you was like, I had to do what's in the best interest for me. Does that it don't hit the same. Now, that doesn't mean you weren't right. It doesn't mean you weren't right, but it's like, at what cost? You could have helped out your neighbor, but at what cost? You see what I'm saying? So what I want you guys to understand, I'm not saying what Ross did was wrong per se, right? He had every right to do what was in the best thing for his institution. But I will ask the question, at what cost? You know what I'm saying? At what cost? So we're going to dive a little deeper. We're going to dive a little deeper. We going to touch that. We're going to touch that, Jamie. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're going to touch that, right? We're going to touch that. Now let's move forward, right? So just to break down some numbers for y'all. So it's for so the overall agreement. So let me kind of break this down for you. This agreement is with ASC, right? So ASC, for the 2 years that Alabama State's the home team, they get an extra $1.5 million from the marketing company of ASC, ran by the white man that you just saw, Gene Hallman, right? So they give him 1.5. And then for the other 2 years, that A&M is the home team. Both just get $500K from the city, right? They don't get, I don't believe, I'm just saying they don't get the 1.5 million. I know for a fact Alabama State does not get the 1.5 million from ASC on those years, okay? So they just get $500K from the city. So once again, if you're looking at the tea leaves and just reading the surface, you'll be like, damn, A&M dropped the ball. Right? A&M dropped the ball. You'll be like, why the F did A&M sign this contract? But you got to understand, in contracts and in business, everything is not what it seems. If you think, usually, especially in HBCUs, most of the time, if you think you got over, you got done. There is not too many contracts in the HBCU arena that the HBCUs come out on top, other than the Florida Classic with FAM and Bethune. They probably have the best situation for their Classic, right? How they split it, how the money comes in, the sponsorships. Their Classic is pretty good. How they have it structured. I think they need a little bit more money from the city, but that's neither here nor there. But I think overall on how it's structured, it's pretty good, right? So continuing on. This is the, remember I told y'all last week, earlier this week.
What y'all know about it?
Hey,
Supermodel.
Rochelle be doing it. Okay, Rochelle be doing it. Once again for my girl Rochelle.
What y'all know about it? Supermodel.
Bad girl. She be killing them. So this is the reason why they did not sign the ASC agreement. She says, at this time and based upon the current level of understanding, we would feel comfortable moving forward with a 2-year rather than a 4-year. ASC did not come off their 4-year term. They had a due date of when they were supposed to sign by the 25th. A&M did not sign that. And then now you get what you get, where Alabama State is getting the 1.5 million for those 2 years and A&M does not, right? So pretty much at the end of the day, A&M stuck to their guns. They said, we don't give a damn what you're talking about. We don't want to do a 4-year term with you. Now I ask you, this is the question that I need everybody, all 192 of you Bamas in the chat. What would make Alabama A&M say, we don't want to do a 4-year agreement. Let's do a 2-year agreement. That has to give you pause. No homo. It has to give you pause, because I've talked to both alums, and they said Alabama A&M usually just follows whatever Alabama State does. Alabama State does this. Alabama A&M says it's good for us. So in this particular incident, what would make A&M decide and say, hey, we only want to do a 2-year agreement? Half of that reason I can give you, because they wrote about it in one of the articles, is that after the contract is up, they require 90 days before you can get in an agreement with another party. Now, mind you, and that's right after the game, right? So October 29th is when the game happens, or the last Saturday in October. So that means November, December, January. You can't get into an agreement until February. Right? You can't get into an agreement until February. Now, what's funny to me is you put a 90-day agreement in there when the same company, ASC, is saying, hey, we need to come to an agreement now early so we can get sponsorships. So you're telling me we're in what, April? They can't get into a new agreement until February. So you're telling me they have February and March to negotiate when you're telling them this should have been signed? We should have been at an agreement with you all? Does that make sense? What that sounds like is you're trying to manipulate the market. You're trying to extend us so far out that we're left with a short term to negotiate with somebody else, and we don't get a good enough deal, so we have to turn around and go back to you. Right? That's what it sounds like. And as a marketing company, of course, I'm going to do what's in the best interest of me. In my business, the Magic City Classic is a walking $1 million maker. It actually promotes itself. The city of Birmingham promotes the Magic City Classic. I got calls from Alabama State alums talking about, Scotty, we don't even need a marketing agency. The city of Birmingham shuts down on Friday. Kids get out of school. Thursday, high schools play their game. Everything gets moved around for the Magic City Classic. So why do we even need a marketer anyway? You can keep the major sponsors that you always have, Alabama Power, the city of Birmingham, maybe McDonald's or Pepsi or whomever. They gonna come because they know it's a walking $1 million moneymaker. So once again, I ask you all just to think about, why would A&M, the little brother, turn away from Alabama State and say, hey, man, like, I'm good. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Boys in the Hood, right? This reminds me of Boys in the Hood. When Cuba Gooding Jr. didn't get in the car with the rest of his friends, you know what I'm saying? When Cuba Gooding Jr. was like, hey, man, you rolling? Hey, man, you rolling? He's like, nah, man, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this reminds me of. You know what I'm saying? Or Set It Off when Jada Pinkett is on the bus. You know what I'm saying? She looking at everybody and she watching Queen Latifah get shot. You know what I'm saying? And you see Queen Latifah over there like, duh. You know what I'm saying? That's what this reminds me of. Like, okay, so it should make you stop and pause, because what a lot of people like to do is say, oh, A&M is wrong, or Alabama State is wrong, right? And it should just make, what I would ask is that a school of higher education, a higher institution on both sides, can they not, the alums, can you guys just stop and think for a second? Like, just be like, what is going on here? What is really going on, right? Because this should not be enough. This cannot be enough for me. Him just saying I did what's in the best interest of my institution. Nah, Negro, I need answers. I need answers. Because anybody that's played dominoes, they say what? All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. But in HBCU world, any money is good money. That's the problem. Y'all too money motivated. You're playing checkers when everybody else around you is playing chess. That's my issue with a lot of this stuff. It's just that you're just like, I give me that. All you Bamas Alabama is moving like a smart institution business-wise. You cannot continue to keep doing the same trash-ass business and think it's going to be okay. Somebody is making a killing off of you. But when you're so quick, let me ask this. I'm going to skip around my slides. This Bama, this white man has been sponsoring you asses for the last 10 to 15 years. And now, all of a sudden, he got an extra milli to hand out. I'm going to say this again. Ye been marketing y'all asses for the last 10 to 15 years. And now, all of a sudden, he got an extra milli to hand out. Oh, y'all lucky my thing ain't working. Oh, y'all lucky my thing ain't working. I was about to say, don't that sound suspicious? That doesn't sound suspicious to you? I'm mad. My Jake ain't working. Doesn't that sound that don't sound suspicious to y'all? Not even in the least bit.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? That all of a sudden he got an extra meal to hand out to you Bamas? My mama would say, listen, my mama would say, that means he had it all the time. That means he had it all the time.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? Like, how does you think they asked? You think they you think Alabama State asked? Ninja, please. Alabama State didn't ask for no 1.5 million. They didn't ask for that. And this ain't even something I know for. I just know how business works. What that white man did was say, hey, I need you to sign this. I will give you, how about this? I'll give you 1.5 for the 2 years you're a home team. And you know what Ross did? Oh, hell yeah, sure. Where do I sign? Oh, shit. I did what's in the best of my institution. That's all that happened. He didn't negotiate that. It's no way, Quint. It's no way Ross negotiated that. You couldn't tell me he negotiated that. You can't. It simply was, yo, here's my offer to get you to sign. It's no different than what whites and Latinos and every other race does to us, right? Instead of you sticking with your brother and saying, yo, now we good, they go to one of y'all on the side and say, hey, man, listen, I don't even want to work with that guy, man. He doing something. I'll give you $2 million to leave. $2 million? $2 million? Okay. And then that's how they break y'all up. That's all they did. That's all he did. That's all they ever do to us. That is all white people ever do to us. They go find the weak link. Alabama A&M and Alabama State should have been in this lockstep, hip by hip. We are the talent. There is no show unless we show up. So what Ross should have done is gone back to A&M and say, hey, man, listen, straight up, hey, man, they just offered me 1.5. Now, if they offer me 1.5, I know they can offer us more. Hey, listen, how we going to do this? Hey, listen, you ask for 4. I'm going to ask for 4. And then we just play it like that. You know what I'm saying? We just play it off like that. That's how you do this. It should be us against them, not me and them against you. That don't make no sense. And that's how Alabama State is moving. That's what makes this so messed up, in my opinion, is that instead of you sticking it out with A&M, because the only competition It's on the field. See, this is the shit that bothers me. All you hear from HBCU alums is, we can talk about each other, but we don't want nobody else talking about us. Well, how about you do business in the same way? Now, I'll give you an example of something that I feel that one can kind of outmeasure the other, right? The Southern Heritage Classic. I'll give you a great example, right? We know Jackson State brings most of the fans, right? So it wouldn't bother me. And even if Alabama State said, listen, man, you know the Match City Classic like 60-40 us. Hey, how about we ask for 4 and you get 3, or we ask for 4 and you get 3.5, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we bring most, we bring most of the people. You know what I'm saying? Something around those type of lines. So Jackson the same way. Hey, man, listen, man, come on, Tennessee State. You know what I'm saying? I get 3, you get 2.5. It's like in boxing. The headliner gets paid more. It's not to say we both ain't getting paid. The headliner gets paid more. I'm not speculating. I am kind of speculating. I'm strongly speculating that I don't believe that Alabama State did in good faith to Alabama A&M. You cannot make me believe that Alabama State in good faith went to A&M and said, hey, man, listen, this is what they offering us. What y'all trying to do? And then they would have been like, hey, listen, we're not trying to sign a 4-year deal. Okay, cool. Y'all ain't trying to sign a 4-year deal. Hey, let's do 2 years at $1 million. You think they'll go for that? You gotta be lock, step, and step. The mere fact. You know why? You know why my speculation is so damn strong? The mere fact that Alabama State signed that trash-ass contract lets me know that you're in it for yourself. You're not in it for your HBCU community. You're not in it for that. You're in it for yourself. You're moving like an NFL free agent. Hey, I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm going to get mine, and everybody else is on their own. But how can you preach, bitch, and moan about HBCU family and all this dumb shit when you move the way you move? It's crooked. It's foul. It's effed up. You got to ride and die with your people. You got to, because that's the only way. Thank you, Mr. Damon. That's the only way you make change is united with one mission, one goal. Alabama State and Alabama A&M should have set their asses down and say, hey, what are we trying to get from the city? What are we trying to get from ASC? How much do we think we deserve? And then they should have stood on that and said, hey, this is what we coming with. This is what we doing. But when you divide it and you let Gene Hallman get one of you and not the other, it looks confused. It looks disjointed. Sickening, man. And listen, man. And this is the problem for me. Now, this is word on the street, right? This is word on the street. Word on the street is that ASC, and I want y'all to listen to this. And when I heard this made me think about why A&M only wanted to sign a 2-year agreement. Now, word on the street that ASC receives a percentage of the city payout that they give A&M and Alabama State. They get a percentage of the sponsorships that they get in, and they get a percentage of the tickets. Now, the sponsorship and the tickets, that's part of marketing. That's what we paid you for. But how in the blue hell are they getting money from the government, the city of Birmingham, paying the two institutions? How does that even work? You didn't have shit to do with that. Marketing companies only get paid what they kill. You only get paid what you bring in. That's how that works. You bring in sponsorships, you get 20% or 30% of whatever sponsorship you get. That's how you eat. You eat what you kill, right? Tickets. You eat what you killed. Now, how in the hell, from what I've heard, and I've heard this from both sides of the aisle of alums, they're like, Scotty, ASC gets a percentage of the government payout that the city of Birmingham gets us. And they had no part of doing that. But this is the, see what I'm saying, man? This is the dumb shit that you see. Who approved this? And you just keep riding the same damn wave. You keep signing the same dumbass contracts. Copy and paste. We'll add $15,000. Okay. We'll add $20,000. Okay. We'll add $100,000. Okay. And you keep signing the dumbass contracts. And then when somebody says, hey, this ain't right. Hey, this ain't this. Then you got everybody else who oblivious, who getting kickbacks, who getting money, who getting all the politics and all the whining and dining and all that dumb stuff. They got a problem with it because now you stopping their money. You stopping their money. And this is the ongoing cycle of perpetual just prorogatory of contracts, man. Just ongoing of the dumb stuff consistently being seen over and over and over and over again at higher this is supposed to be high learning institutions. These Bemas are supposed to have doctorates, and they doing dumb stuff. Make that make sense. But I'm the problem. Scotty's the problem. Scotty bringing up this is the problem. Scotty talking about it is the problem. Scotty addressing it. I'm the problem. Not the higher learning institution that keeps signing the same dumb stuff over and over and over again. First of all, from here on out, I swear to God, nobody better call. If your school is in a dumbass contract, nobody better call my line talking about we this and we that. No, you are dumb as rocks. Oh, Scotty, we this. What are you? Are you sure about that? Because what you look like from here is you look like you're in a co-op. You're in sharecropping. That's what it feels like to me. Because it seems like everybody is getting more money than you. You the show. You the talent. Now, I get it. Promoters make a lot of money. But gosh darn it, they can't promote an event if they ain't got no talent. So how do you let this Mayo slide in your business, underpay you for years? See, I got time today. Yeah, I got time today. Underpay you for years. Check that out. Okay? Underpay you for years. And that's from the city. Okay? You let these Bamas underpay you for years. And then on top of underpaying you, you let them undercut you. But let him tell it. He did what's best for your institution. I did what was best for my institution. Well, I can pay you $1.5 million if I'm taking 20 or 30% of your $500K that you get from the city of Birmingham that you don't ever see. I can pay you $1.5 million when I take 20, 30% of the sponsorships that were going to be there regardless. I can pay you $1.5 million when I take 20, 30% of the ticket revenue that you rarely see. Ain't too hard to do that. Ain't too hard at all. but you did what was in the best situation for your institution. No, it just sounds like some dumb stuff. It just sounds like, once again, I'm just going along to get along. Now, once again, I can't tell you why. I can't tell you all the intricacies, but when you just look at it for the face value, right? For the face value of what it is, it should just tell you they have they have been promoting this jank for years. They've been doing this so long. Let me break it down to you. They've been doing this for so long. They done changed their names in between doing it. It used to be the Bruno's Event Company. Now it's Inventive or Inventvite or whatever that shit's called. That's how long they've been doing this. They've been doing this for so long. They dissolved one company, brought up another company, and still managing the same Bamas. And the crazy thing about it to me is you probably would do better if A&M and Alabama State hired somebody full-time as a consultant. They put their peanuts together, hired a consultant, a marketing consultant, and then just let them do it all year round, and then they get all the sponsorship. So you pay this guy. Okay, now I'm preaching. See, nobody want to listen. Now I'm preaching. You would pay this marketing consultant $150, right? $150 or whatever, however you want to do it, right? They come together, pull their money. Hey, I'll give you $70K. You get $70K. Let's do this. Let's go find a marketing firm, or let's go find whatever, right? And then you just get like that. Have somebody on payroll. You know what I'm saying? You probably give them a bonus. Maybe give them 10% of everything they bring in, right? A nice little bonus, and you keep it pushing. But that's too much. But now all of a sudden, my man got millions to hand out. I say again.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious. 2713 coming to you. Hey, calling you loud.
You don't find that suspicious?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, turn your background down.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Turn your background down.
Okay. Okay, I'm here. Hey, I have to agree with everything you're saying, okay? Right now, right, that's just like what was going on with Deion Sanders in Texas State and Eddie George, and they saw what was going on up there with that game they were playing. Now it's the same old thing. They're doing the same old thing over and over again. You can't. I'll tell you. I don't know what we need. We got these PhDs, right? But they need some people that is got degrees from the street. They need some somebody from a person that is from the streets of hard knocks to negotiate contract. Really, these guys just don't have it. You know, it continues the same thing over and over again. You know,
yeah.
Why keep on doing the same thing over again? Why we keep on bumping our head against the wall and doing the same old thing over and over again and never fixing nothing? You know. Now that them two guys, Eddie Georgia and Deion Sanders, they had the right thing with what they were going to do about what was going on with that game. And the thing about it, right, his promoter was taking all the money. The colleges wasn't getting anything. Because Alabama State should know better. They go all the way out there to California, and what did they come back with? What did they earn when they went out there?
Who knows?
Nothing.
Who knows?
So you gotta pay that all the expenses and stuff. No, nobody learned nothing. The same old stupid stuff all over again. When are we gonna learn?
When are we going to learn?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Hey, listen, I want to go back to what Herb said, man. Shout out to Herb for being in the chat. Folks need to understand that unity that I'm speaking about starts with clear communication between leadership of both schools. Those things just don't happen because we're HBCUs. Listen, the thing about it is, yes, we understand that you guys are rivals, right? We understand that. So I get there is a natural animosity, right? There's a natural animosity. It's a playful animosity. You know what I'm saying? Like they say about the Bayou Classic is like, they cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like cousins that don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? They on two sides of a different family. They in the same family. They on just different sides, right? My thing is this. Listen, man. You guys are going to hate me. The commissioner already hates me. Listen, man, as the commissioner of this conference, you and all your presidents need to have powwows and say, listen, we all have to do better business, right? As the commissioner, I cannot tell you what you should or should not get into. I can't do that, right? I just manage, I oversee. But what I can do is say, hey, we got to get out of these bad contracts and we got to get people in here that know what we're doing. But when the top of the top keeps getting they shit in some stuff, why would I listen to him, right? He don't know what he doing. That's why he in a lawsuit. So everybody is effed up on all the levels. From the top to the administration, everybody is effed up. The only remnants of somebody actually trying to make a freaking change was Dion and now the power team at A&M with Miss Rochelle, with A.D. Bryant and President Wims. They like, man, we can't keep doing the same dumb stuff. We can't. We can't keep signing bad contracts and think we're supposed to get more money. We can't. This is my thing. How can any HBCU in a bad contract have a business degree? How are you guys allowed to issue business degrees when the same institution handing out the business degree is in a bad contract? That don't make any sense to me. Now, my thing is this. At some point in time, HBCUs have to start working in unison to make this thing work, right? It should always be us against them. It should always feel that way, right? The reason that people go to HBCUs is to feel a part of a community of their own that they can understand, that they feel that they can be themselves in. That's what you're promoting. So how are you not promoting that at the higher level of administration to where it's like, listen, I should be able to reach out to President Wims and say, listen, man, what y'all trying to do? What you trying to do, man? We trying to come up. What you trying to do? Holla at me. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. ADs and ADs should be able to communicate with each other and be like, hey, man, listen, I'm not trying to play in the SWAC Classic for $100K. That ain't happening. What you trying to do? Home and home? All right, bet. I'm tired of taking chump change. I'm tired of taking this. I'm tired of doing that. It's crazy to me. 98-94 coming to you.
Hey, good afternoon, Scott. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Real good, Scott. You're doing a great job today. Now, Scotty, I just want to say this, Scotty. And here's the difference. I just trust me. I know Alabama politics. I live in Georgia, but I worked in Alabama politics. And here's what you got to understand.
Talk to me.
Dr. Ross was formerly a state senator. He got that job because all the white boys chose him to be president of Alabama State, which is in the capital. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You got to understand that, this guy just know the politics. Okay? He got pressure from those guys that live down the street, around the corner, over the boulevard, right to you know what I mean? That marketing company is a clearinghouse to make sure everybody else get paid. Okay, Dr. Williams, got to remember, he's not from Alabama. He's from Georgia. Know how to do business. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He used to be the vice president of Fort Valley. They come with a whole different attitude about how black folks rock and roll. You understand? So you're hitting on the point. Different perspective about how to do the business. One person grown up with the government, support me, do what the government folks tell me to do. one person comes from an entrepreneur kind of corporate background, and you're seeing it on display.
Let me ask you this: How?
That's all.
No. I thank you so much for the call, but I want to ask you a question, right? How the thing that bothers me so much is that it doesn't seem like anything. If it always comes down to that, right? If Ross if his motives are always to appease the people above him, except the people below him, right? It's like, what are you supposed to do with that? Because that means he's always going to do what's in the best interest, not of Alabama State. He's going to do it in the best interest of him, and he's going to do what's in the best interest of the state officials. But that doesn't mean that's going to be in the best interest of Alabama State.
But Scotty, here's what you're missing. I understand, and here's the frustration. Again, you touched on it in your equality over the last couple hours. Here's the deal. And even in one of your chat persons talk about, you know what? There's a generation of folks who are of state-sponsored support. They've been working for the state government. The government always gives them what they need and everything like that. And says they're more afraid of losing government food stamps than what's best for the people. Okay? These young guys like Williams and stuff like that, hey, listen, they ain't scared. Okay, they know they can go and get it on their own. They have the skills and ability. But, you know, if you used to that senator giving you on that committee assignment and everything like that, and guess what? I'm going to tell you something else. Here's a little secret I'm going to tell you. Check out who's the vice president of finance at Alabama State. See what his background is. Okay? Just check it out. And then you'll understand better about how the finances work at Alabama State.
You said the vice president of finance?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
See who he is and what his background is. And he got appointed about 2 weeks after Ross got the job as president. Okay? Just let's see what the relationship. My point simply is, you're the president, but you don't get to pick who your vice president of finance is going to be. It's a guy that's well connected in the state government of Alabama. It's like, you're going to be the president, but this money thing, we're going to have our board take care of that. Okay? And when you see that kind of attitude, so I'm just saying, Dr. Ross don't have the freedom in the mind that you would think one as president would have for the people. That's not, I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. Now, Williams, he's new, and he's a young gun, but guess what? I'm sure he had a little pressure, you know, okay, this is the way he wanted to go, but he's new, and guess what? He ain't scared. He ain't kind of got to say, if I lose my job a year or two from now, he'll find another one.
Now I'm looking at the website right now, right? Because you know nobody's gonna know your name. So my thing is this: I see interim of VP of Business Finance, William F. Hopper.
Yep. He said interim, right?
Yeah, interim VP of Business and Finance.
That he just got the job. Cause the big white boy that's well connected in Alabama for the last 25 years just retired. Okay, and that was his recommendation to take his job. So the train keep rolling. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yep. Okay, I'm just saying. So you know, the politics is on in Alabama. With that state government, state funding, don't ever underestimate how those folks control the money, who gets what and when. If you don't do what we say, how we like it, you out of here. I'm just saying, Scotty. You're right. The extra $20 million that's on the table, a lot of other people got to dip into that. I'm just saying. Thanks. Nice talking to you, Scott. But guess what? You're doing the people a favor, okay? And you can do this because guess what? The regular people on normal radio can't have these kind of conversations because their radio station gets shut down, don't get advertisement and stuff like that. So, you know what? So you've got a whole new section of folks already get educated in a way they could never have done in the last 20 years. All right?
Yes, sir.
It's called pulling back the curtain. You're doing a great job, okay?
Thank you, sir.
You're right. If we're doing 70,000 people every year for Classic, we don't need to be promoted.
It promotes itself. I mean, what are we talking
Exactly. Exactly. You don't think Alabama Power and Region Bank and everything don't know that we're going to give up $100,000 every year in this budget for this event?
Crazy.
Okay. Why you need somebody to go out there and, hey, it's ordinary. They know they budget $100,000 for the classic. Region Bank, Alabama Power, and 2 or 3 other companies. It's in their budget, advertising budget. Okay. Why you got to get somebody 20% of that? Okay.
That's 20% in your
So you're
pocket.
doing a good job.
That's crazy. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the call.
All right, bye.
Listen, man. I talked to somebody. They said, bro, Scotty, the Magic City Classic is the last Saturday in October. And they never going to change. And they never going to be nothing different. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. That's just every year. Last Saturday in October is going to be the Magic City Classic. Why do we need to promote that? Why do we need to promote that? What listen, man, it's so disheartening because to me it's like, let me take this call and I'll get into it. 4648 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
Yo, Scotty, man, how you doing today, big dog?
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Man, listen, you hit them on the head again, and the last gentleman just hit us with the wealth of information. I just want to expound on it a little bit because you brought up a valid point. Our presidents of our institution should be coming together saying, hey, man, how are we going to get our money out of this situation if we want to get into that situation? Because like you said, a home-and-home situation is a win-win. You get total control. You keep your money 1 year. The other school get the bulk of the money the next year. But what's happening, as the last gentleman pointed out, is politics, where we're getting people in positions. It was a former president, I can't remember if it was Reagan or Wilson, who said, for the black community, we'll create their leaders. And so our HBCUs, they're the best and brightest of our communities. And then we get these presidents who are sometimes they get elected because of the right fraternity, sorority, organization, or sometimes they get placed by the state. Mm-hmm. And when they get placed by the state, it's through the state official ranks of politics. With this type of situation, with this game, these guys are coming in saying, hey, y'all are 2 melanated schools or 2 black schools playing each other. Let us come in and show y'all how to run y'all game and get a piece of the pie. And the reason why this keeps happening is because our big best buddies, our presidents, they bully alumni. They bully students. They will bully their directors, athletic directors, and vice presidents. When the governor calls or anyone calls, they curl up. I'm not putting anybody on the spot, but the president of Tennessee State University is going through a great deal of hardships. Do you know she's on President Biden's HBCU Advisory Council?
Oh, snap.
You are President Biden's advisor, along with Taraji P. Henson. I don't know how she get it, of course, for how, but you are on President Biden's Advisory Council for HBCUs, and you can't get the federal government to come in and help with some of the stuff you got going on at Tennessee State. But here's a bigger problem. A lot of, and you know, I keep saying HBCUs need to come up with some kind of lobbyist group. The bigger problem is every year our HBCUs and our people only vote a certain type of way. Political candidates, normally from the Democratic Party, got open access to our communities. Scotty, I want you to check into this. The largest amount of HBCU funding came from President Donald J. Trump. In fact, I want you to also look it up. President Biden reduced the amount of aid that President Trump granted HBCUs. But I want you to look into that. And when you find that all of that is true, when you see that most of that money that came through the COVID bills was passed under President Trump, and then ask yourself, how many HBCUs said, you know what? Let me sit back and look and talk to the Republican Party and see what their candidates are willing to offer HBCUs to come in to speak to our students in case they win in certain districts. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. Nah. Because they've been Democrat and that's how they get their money. But I'm sorry, man. You know, I know I went off the way, but man, great storyline you got going here. Keep educating these Bammers, man, because even guys like me, we wake up once we start being able to hear you piece 1 and 2 and make sure that make 3. But thank you, Scotty, man.
No problem. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it, man. Let me say this, right? Listen, you know me, I'm not the most politicking person. You know what I'm saying? I don't, listen, I'm not into politics. But what I will say that I do agree with is the lobby, right? NRA gets a lot of stuff done because of how they lobby. There needs to be a lobbyist group for HBCUs. I think that's a damn good idea. I think that's a damn good idea, right? I think it's a damn. And the problem for me is that the people that are, I think Oprah Winfrey should be leading that super PAC of HBCUs. If Oprah puts together a super PAC to lobby for HBCUs, you don't think she'll get Tyler Perry? You don't think, like, Oprah is like, she's like the Michael Jordan of business. She just gravitates a lot of people to. Okay, I'm over. I'm going way too far with this. 0265 coming to you, and then Coach Green coming to you. What's up, calling you live?
Hey, Scotty. So, remember December 28th, 2022, title, the 4 power HBCU conferences collectively work responsibility continues. That's the name of the press release. So how are we, if those 4 conferences are supposed to come together and work out deals, to work together on this, why are we still running to bad deals?
That's fair.
The CIAA put that press release out. The NEAC put that press release out. The SWAC put a press release out. The SIEC put a press release out. Why are we still staring down bad deals if these 4 HBCU conferences are supposed to work together? And I agree with the previous caller. Too many of our HBCUs are picking their friends, their drinking buddies to lead these schools. Again, what I always say this. If you want to see better deals, you got to get better presidents. That's just it. You got to get better CFOs on campus. You got to get better CIOs. And that's just the way it is. We're not going to get better deals until we get better people in these positions. So what's happening now is they get the leadership has to change. The leadership has to do better deals. But if you pick leaders in the wrong way, you ain't gonna get better deals. That's my comment, man.
Hey, that's true. That's true. But see, what's tough about
100%.
But what's tough about that is when you get state appointed people, right? So they have, you can't listen, man. Listen, it's hard to trust,
I agree.
It's hard to trust people that are being appointed by the same people that won't give you the money that you're required to have. You get what I'm saying? Like, so you funding everybody else. And then you appoint our president, right? And then we supposed to trust the guy that you appointed because one, he black. They try to get you a black guy. Well, at least he black, right? But you're like, bro, he got to be cool with y'all Bamas to even get the position. Let's not act like that's not how it works. Hey, what black guy do we know that we're cool with? Oh, let's put this black man in the position.
So, Scotty, I add to that. Not only is he black, but they're black in their alone. So now we trust that. We trust that hire.
Yeah.
Even though they may have been politicking behind the scenes just to get the job. Listen, I always tell people, if you want the best person, the best candidate, have a transparent process, man. I said that about any school. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you and the previous caller, man. And he's right. Donald Trump did put a lot of money. I'm no Republican or Democrat anymore. But he's right. There's been a ton of money come down to these schools during the COVID era the last 2 years. Think about this. That money got to be spent by the end of June or July this year. Then no one is talking about no one is asking the schools, what are you going to be doing with this COVID money this year? The remaining money of that COVID money. That's a whole other topic right there, man.
It is. It sure enough is.
You're doing a great job, man. Have a great day, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Listen, Coach Green, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to come right to you. My thing is this, right? I'm always under the fact of transparency. I'm always going to be on the fact of transparency. I'm always going to be the backer of transparency. Why? Because you're a public institution. That's why I am on the side of transparency. I'm about to say transportation, Lord have mercy. Of transparency. Because you're a public institution anyway. so I could FOIA request half the shit that I'm asking you. So you might as well see what HBCUs hope, and this is what they hope, right? This is what they hope. What they hope is that you never ask for the FOIA request, you never go get these contracts, you never go do your due diligence, and they continue to keep doing what they've been doing, or that you don't make enough noise or shake enough trees to make it actually matter, right? But at the end of the day, it's all public knowledge. It's all public access. So you might as well just be transparent up front. Why be secretive? Kills me. Coach Green coming to you, then Mr. Bug coming to you. Hey, Coach Green.
Man, I wasn't even gonna call, but dude set me off, though.
What happened with the Donald Trump thing?
Yeah, because he goddamn lied. I wish you would have just pulled up the information in front of him, because he got away with saying some bullshit.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that call in and get away with some stuff that I
but you know, I know when people call in with bullshit, you able to
if I know
challenge it.
Yeah, if I could listen, if I know that it's wrong, I'm a challenge it.
That's what. But
yeah,
I know you couldn't challenge that because you had the information in front of you, because you don't know about all that stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the things I know for sure, Roland Martin spoke on it. And people that don't like to hear from Roland Martin, the former president at Dillon University, even spoke on it, because he was also at that White House. Donald Trump didn't get the most money. So people need to stop with that lie. Now, don't call here saying Donald Trump's name, period. But anyway, back up off that. Now, when it comes to these presidents,
hold on, Coach.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. So you can't say Donald Trump's name, even though Donald Trump did the HBCU funding bill. Like you can't. Like, I mean, he did do that.
No,
right?
no. He may have done the funding bill, but the most money didn't come from him.
I'm just saying, you gotta give him some credit. You know, like I mean, listen, I'm not a Donald Trump fan. You gotta give him some credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, he did do something. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't say F HBCUs.
That's too much credit that when people sit there and try to say and put out some bullshit, that's just giving too much credit, because that's wrong. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, go ahead.
All right, but anyway, now when it comes to these predators being picked, you know, because you got to think about it. A lot of these schools are part of the state they in. You know, they on that system of whatever the system called it, Alabama. Now, I got something to say about old B. Rob, whatever his name is, when he speak on Obama and HBCU funding. But it's a lot to go on with. It'll be a long story. I'll be a long time explaining that, because you don't have the whole understanding of it.
Please don't.
But anyway, you know, they all part of the system that say Alabama is under. So that's how they're able to pick who they want to be president. You guys do a lot of politics to even get in on that. So it's hard for stuff like that. It's gonna be hard, because we can't pick our own presidents for real in certain states.
That's
because
fair,
take Mississippi for instance. You see how that's set up.
Yeah, IHL. Yeah, we gotta get to the point, Coach Greg. I got a lot of callers calling. You gotta. What are you trying to say? Though?
Now, I'm just leaving off that. You know, because of that will hinder us. They're gonna hinder us at times because of that situation. Put it like that, and then I'm done. I'm out.
All right, appreciate the call, Coach Greg. Hey, the guy who brought up Donald Trump is on the line now. I'm gonna go to Mr. Buzz, but I just want y'all to stay tuned because he's coming up next. All right, Mr. Buzz, coming to you.
Scotty, what's going down, baby? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Talk to me.
Man, enjoyed the show last night, man. People are calling in, which is great, which is wonderful. Now, two things. Number one, why are we having as people the conversation of who is giving us the most money when it comes to administrations? How has that money benefited HBCUs? we need to begin asking questions. Okay, I always say, where the money going?
Where the money going?
Where the money going? Let's just say Obama, Trump, as well as President Biden gave money. Great. Where did the money go? Let's stop having this buffoon conversation of who gave the most money, because the money has left in all three administrations, and we still here complaining about where the money going.
That's fair.
Number two, who is in charge? And I want no general answer of putting in the board of trustees at these universities, because of the fact that they keep hiring these buffoons to do these jobs. And we keep complaining about the job these buffoons are doing.
I think it goes, if I'm not mistaken, I think it goes like this. And please, anybody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm probably gonna be wrong. I know the state in certain states get the president, and I do believe that some of the presidents. Oh, they said state governor. The state governor picks the board of trustees. So, yeah. So
the state governor picks the board of trustees. Now, is it the governor alone? And I got to ask this question because of my knowledge when it comes to state, local, and federal government. Is it the governor alone, or is it a committee that is advising the governor?
I would say it would probably be her making the choice, but she probably has advisors of who they recommend. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's her choice alone.
Gotcha. So the governor is making this determination, or the committee. Let's just say the committee and or the governor, which is fine.
Yeah.
My question is this here: when are we going to begin to, as you said, FOIA to see what's going on, so we could say, okay, who is really making these decisions? Because their decision making is trash. It's garbage. We need to begin to look at who is the best qualified to do the best job, because even if any administration is sending money to these HBCUs, that's tax money. Our children is sending the money because they're borrowing from the future. It's called deficit spending, is what it's called. And so the thing about it is, if my kids are paying for this, we need to determine out, and that's really our money. We need to be in the decision-making process of who is actually making these decisions, because the current regime, no matter who it is laughable. I'm trying to figure out why they still employed. They should be fired already. If you're judging by the merits, I don't care if you look like me. Are you qualified to make these decisions? If the answer is no, get your ass out.
I think, but
it's real simple,
Mr. Buck. I think there's like so many nuances to that, you know, to me, I look at it like this, man. I look at it like I'm gonna tell you how people look at it and how I feel. I feel that people look at it in the sense of, hey, it is what it is. We deal with it. We've been around for 100, 200 years. You know, we've been dealing with this and we just surviving, And for me, I look at it like, well, if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X felt that same way, nothing would have ever changed, right? Like, this just is what it is. We're in racism. We're in this. We're in this. Like, at some point in time, you have to stand up and fight for something, right? You have to stand together and fight for something, or you will fall for anything. So
I agree.
If Martin Luther King felt that, like, oh man, when we in the South, man, we can't do nothing. Like, you know, like it would be that mindset to me would have never started a civil rights movement. It would have never positioned us to be in a position to change where we're at in the first place. So it has to be some type of civil disobedience. That's why you're allowed to protest. That's why you're allowed to do the things that civil unrest, as they say. There has to be something that needs to be done in regards to how the public standard is or whatever, to where that we fight back with our voices and maybe with our dollars or whatever, but something has to give. You can't just say this is what it is, because if we keep that mindset going throughout, it's like, when does it ever change? Because what bothers with what my mom used to say to me all the time, right? When I became an entrepreneur, my mom would say, well, how are you supposed to survive? That's not how it's done. How are you going to retire? Like she would have all these, and I'm like, Mom, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that have retired, that have, done well, that have generational wealth. Why do I have to fall into the stereotype of I need to work a job for 20 to 30 years and get a pension? But my mom would say that's just how it's done. That's what we do. And to me, it's like, well, if you keep that same mindset, then what progress will you ever make?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. I would say we have really falling in love, and I think right, to making our voices heard via protest, which is great. I don't think that we've done a very good job, and I mean this respectfully, in talking with our dollars. Because even with the protesting, these bad decision makers are still being made. And so when will we begin to say, okay, I'm seeing bad decisions being made, and wise stewardship tells me my dollars can't follow bad decisions. So therefore, I'm going to not allow my dollars to flow that way anymore. Because how do you get someone's attention? That's what I mean by the consumers. Consumers are the trump card. Stop having your money flow to the institutions if the decisions are being made bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about the Magic City Classic, when it comes to the game, you go into this contract and it's trash and it's terrible. Why are people showing up? Don't show up.
Don't show up. Don't show
up. You know what? I'm sorry. I am not going to participate in this bad deal so that you get paid. No, sir, not no more. Then what happens is you say, okay, these fools, they've actually got a lot wiser. We got to make better decisions. Am I off base?
I don't
on my own script.
I don't think you're off base on that aspect. Not at all. Because if you don't agree with how it's structured, you don't agree with how it is, protest the game. Don't go. Don't show up. You know what I'm saying? To me, you can't complain about something and keep funneling the system that keeps you in the same place. That doesn't make any sense to me, right? At some point, you have to say enough is enough, and we're not going to do this anymore, or we're not going to stand on this anymore. That's why I'm rocking what A&M has done with the ASC. They're like, yo, we're not just going to keep signing a contract. We're not going to copy.
There you go.
We're not going to keep copy and pasting the date and keep getting stuck in stupid stuff. We're going to change. But when you have so many, you have your partner, which is supposed to be Alabama State, go completely against the grain, and they go rock with the person that you're like, yo, they're doing us dirty. You know, it's a lot, Mr. Bugs. But man, I appreciate the call as always, Mr. Bugs.
Man, thanks so much for your time, brother.
All right, man. Hey, caller, you live.
Yo, big man, I'm going to call in. And of course, I just call in because I enjoy the show. And I'm going to respond to Mr. Green. No disrespect. I'm going to point out some key things. I want Mr. Green to look up the $250 million of perpetual funding and I'm not rooting for one candidate or the next. But I want him to look up the $250 million of perpetual funding that President Trump had signed into effect when he was in office. Of course, a lot of people clowned a lot of our HBCU leaders for going to the meeting, but look at the funding. And then I want him to also double back and look at President Biden's reconciliation bill that he proposed under his Build Back Better, which drastically reduced the amount of funding that went to HBCUs and also spread out the funding amongst HBCUs and minority service institutions. So that's that. The last caller just said, why do we care about where the money comes from? This is why. Kentucky State University is an HBCU. But if you actually go to Kentucky State, you'll see that the student population is extremely diverse, meaning almost the equal amount of Europeans as melanated people. Well, why is that important? Well, Kentucky State University gets a great deal of agricultural grants from the state of Kentucky. Well, who's the senator of Kentucky? Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell, who is a Republican, who's going to take care of those conservative students or institutions that are going to serve some conservative interests like farming and agriculture. And there, of course, this isn't always an easy thing because they have had a great deal of funding issues. But what I'm saying is if we're able to connect with, okay, this person is an elected official to represent my state, let me reach out to them and let me reach out with the interest of my institution, what they could do to help my institution. That's called lobbying for your institution. That brother fought so hard to fight down my argument or what I presented as facts about President Trump, which I'm not lobbying. I'm not sitting up and saying, hey, get the guy back as president, but I'm pointing out a fact. I didn't hear that brother touch at all on the fact that Dr. Glover at Tennessee State University is on President Biden's HBCU advisory committee.
Yeah.
And she's having all the hell and trouble she's having down in Tennessee State. So instead of pushing back on President Trump, who's not even in office right now, you get what I'm saying? Why don't you touch on why Dr. Glover is on President Biden, the current president's HBCU advisory committee, and she can't get the federal government to come help her out with her situation? So I just wanted to touch on that because I you know, too often we get up in sensationalism and, oh man, don't even let him talk that nonsense. Man, go to Google and search it. Well, if you go to Google, you search it, and then take a couple deep breaths and say, dang, I didn't know that. And then you make your moves. But don't come here bashing another guy just because I present a different set of facts than the, what is it? I hate to say the popular narrative, but that's really what it is. Like when you look at the CARE Act funds, when most of that COVID money was coming out, who was the president in office? President Trump. So most of that money got distributed. So of course that can skew the data greatly, and I'm admitting that. But his loose regulations and pushing that funding out, it benefited our HBCUs. And now last thing, Scotty, and I'm gonna shut up because they said, where's the money going? I want you to look this up. There's articles in the CARE Act which allow schools to utilize the CARE Act funding to clear out student balances.
That is true.
So we sit up here wondering, where's the money going? That's what's happening. The schools are paying themselves. The schools are going to the kids with balance, but you ain't got the money. Auntie can't sell no key lime pie to pay this balance. Don't even worry about it. Shoot me the email, and we got something. We gonna handle it. So really, the schools are paying themselves. So now the deeper question is: now that the schools are paying themselves and these students' balances are getting paid off, now, like the last caller said, where is the money going? Because you got the money. You clearing it through your bursar because you clearing these students' accounts. So it's not just money from the government. Now this part of your general fund. So now where is the money going? But I appreciate you, big man. I just wanted to call in and tell that brother, hey, Google will take you far, my friend. And President Biden has an administrative assistant out of Louisiana, Cedric. If you look him up, he got caught up with a news reporter and actually admitted that the current administration did, in fact, reduce HBCU aid from what the previous administration did. But that's neither here nor there. I'm still HBCUs through and through. I think we all need to find one lawyer from each HBCU and say, hey, we're going to put y'all in place, put y'all in the pack. Let's go get our HBCU dollars. Y'all get, like you say, you get what you kill.
All right. I'm not about to have a politic debate on my show. That is not what I do. There's a lot of stuff that I will let go. It's just that's not something that I would do. I do agree with them because I've had different people call me up and tell me that they do use CARES Act to clear out student balances. A lot of PV students got their balances cleared out underneath Dr. Ruth. I'm letting it go because of the simple fact of the matter is Coach Green got to say his opinion. He got to say his opinion. He called back in and respond to his opinion. That's what a debate show is. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have nobody. I don't want to debate politics back and forth because at the end of the day, we already know you're on both sides. We already know you're on the opposite side of the fence. So you're either going to do your own due diligence and learn for yourself, or you can go with whatever narrative you feel right. That's what it's allowed to have. Now, Ashley, if you would like to call in and give your opinion about the situation, you are more than happy to do so. Or you can stay your ass in the comments and leave it like that. But at the end of the day, the mere fact that you're allowed to call in and give your opinion, that's what it's about. Thank you very much. That's what it happens. But I'm not going to have two people debate about politics. That's no, we're not doing that. That don't make no sense. But you can call in and give your opinion. about what was said and not be said. You know what I'm saying? I'm not upset. You don't want to talk about something. Let Coach Green on. Let him argue. Let debate. Hell freaking no. All right. Rod, coming to you. Hey, calling you live.
I'm glad you put a stop to it. Hey, let's get back to the topic at hand. Talking about really capacity is what we're lacking at these institutions. One of the issues we have is, yes, the governors appoint the board of trustees who then pick the president. That's the issue. But I can kind of tell you from in Texas, they don't really care. Government really ain't care. It's usually some dude, because they doing their own thing. And now if they can look good to them black people, cool. But for the most part, it's usually some black people maneuvering the political arena to make themselves look like they are influential to white people to get appointments. If you don't believe me, go look at some of the board of trustee people or their executives at some corporation. And someone says, hey, would you mind being on this board? That's usually the backdrop. They're not like someone very high up either in that corporation. And a lot of times there are people who just rotate from board to boards on governors' appointments, right? So you got these guys that are just doing that. So in my opinion, I think this boils down to black people at HBCUs who are not business professionals. They have their PhDs, et cetera, et cetera. They're not business professionals. And they're trying to figure out how they can enrich themselves in this government job. To me, that's the issue.
That's fair.
They're trying to figure out, how can I get money? And I know this because, I got family in multiple places.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how they're going to enrich themselves. They don't even know business. You're not having to go get that money. The government's giving you that money every cycle. You're not having to go get it. So you don't even know business. And then someone approaches and says, well, hey, I got this deal. I give you this. To them, it's free money. It's free money, and they don't know how to do business. They don't know how to build capacity. Now, I think the issue that's out there for the rest of us sitting on the outside, looking in, getting frustrated, we haven't built capacity through our networks. We talked about what homecoming looks like at an HBCU for black people. It's that fair union. You go in there to show off and let them know you're doing good, and you getting up out of there.
Come back to show up, show up and show out.
That's it, man. Hey, look, if you go to a PV homecoming or some of these other homecomings, man, it's a concert. Boys they got setups for real. It's a show off fest. It's a straight show off fest. And then these folks, they ain't networking for nothing. They're not networking. They're not building nothing. Even when you start getting to our Greek organizations, same deal. They showing up to events, to dance, to do this. Ain't no business getting done. Ain't no capacity getting built. Well, you talking about Boule or any other Greek organization, a Mason organization, it's the same deal. We're just not building. And we're on the outside looking in. You have this group of people who we getting frustrated, man. Because everybody got a cousin that knows somebody or is in there. And you're like, why ain't y'all doing that? Oh, man, this is how we do it.
Man, listen, they need to put that on a shirt. You know what I'm saying? For HBC, that's just how we do it. That's just how we do it. I've heard that so much since I've been in this arena. It's crazy. But Rod, last point before I let you go. I got another call on.
Last point I'm going to say is, man, everyone that I love your show. Everyone should just try to get together, build this community, and work together. That's it. Love you, bro.
Hey, appreciate it, Rock. Listen, man. Before I get to this caller, 4121, I'm gonna get to you. Give me about 3 minutes. All right, I want to go through this. So, this is what he said. At the end of the day, this is the mindset of your president. At the end of the day, each president has to do what's in the best interest of the institution, which ultimately becomes business. So there is no HBCU family. It is a dog-eat-dog world. Now, to me, there is some validity in that, right? Because at some point, you have to do what's in your best interest. But when you're in cahoots to do something together, that should not be the mindset. This is a football game that you do together. Why would you have a dog-eat-dog mentality in a situation where you do it together? That is my issue. That is a problem. If that is your mindset, that means F everybody. Listen, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all. And y'all wonder why I played the...
Man, we all we got. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes.
That's Ross. Nino Brown, that's Ross. Cancel that. Sit your ass down. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. That's Ross. That's him. Come on, man. 4121 coming to you. They calling you live.
What's up, Scotty?
What's up? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This Ashley. I'm calling from New Orleans.
What's up, Ashley? Talk to me.
I had to call my ass in since you was talking all that crap on the on YouTube on live. But
listen.
I appreciate the whole conversation. I am not an HBCU alum. Never been. But I'm here down in New Orleans, like Southern, Grambling, you know, all that's embedded in me. I love the culture. I understand I have family members. And I totally agree with, I'm all for having, you know, the community, the HBCU community come together and work together. And I think, you know, everybody have touched on points where we do have to come together and, you know, I think we should be able to talk with each other and just move the HBCU culture forward. I always say that us as Black people, we think about the now. Everybody's worried about the now, getting their money now, and making sure that, you know, we get what we didn't have before now. And like you have said before, everybody else is playing chess while we're playing checkers. And I think we really need to hop on board with that, because we look around us and our surroundings, and it's like, you know, I want us as a people to move forward, and I want us to be able to, you know, be able to leave something for our children, our grandchildren. So, but I appreciate what you got going on, Scotty. I had to call my ass up for the first time because you was getting on me on the live.
Had to.
But again, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I love the energy you putting out. I love the content and the information that you putting out. And it's just you basically holding the mirror up to us as a people and us as a culture, HBCU culture, and people who are, you know, have, you know, time and effort put into it. So I appreciate it. I love it. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, Mrs. Script. And keep rocking out, Scotty.
Hey, appreciate it, Ashley. Listen, Ashley, a real one. I be going at a lot of ninjas in the chat, and they wouldn't even call in because they be like, "Oh, Scotty." A lot of grown men be like, "Oh, Scotty, that's wrong." Da 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 da, and they sit their ass in the comments and keyboard. Shout out to Ashley for being a real one. She's like, "Hey, listen, I don't play those games, sir. I calls in, okay? I gets numbers." So shout out to Ashley being a real one. You know what I'm saying? So let me say this, right? Before math got letters, I was pretty damn good. That was my strongest subject. Before math got letters, I was killing the game. You know what I'm saying? 6 times 5, 30, 9 times 9, 81, 9 times 7, 86, all that. I was killing the game. 63, all that. Right? My mom was really particular, by the way. Like 7 times 7, like I was like I had to know my multiplication. Right? So I want to speak in math. Right? What I did was I did a little HBCU equation. I did a little HBCU equation, and I'm just trying to see if my math works, right? You know, just trying to see if my math works. I'm pretty nice with the tables, all right? First equation. Together plus together can equal a bad deal. Let me say this. Dumb plus dumb equals dumb. So you can be unified in the wrong thing. Ooh, I'm feeling the word coming on. Hold up now. Hold on. Gotta get my organs together. I said you can be led astray by partnering with the wrong person. I said Adam knew not to eat from the fruit. But when Eve brought him said apple, they were unified together in a bad deal. I am talking to somebody today. I said you could be unified in a bad deal. Okay? You can be unified in a bad deal. So I don't want people to think that just because you're together makes it a good deal. Dumb and plus dumb equals dumber, okay? So just want to make that clarification. But also, you can be unified and be a good deal. Right? I say that you could be together and have prosperity together, right? Unity can also equal a good deal, right? So then I present this equation for the last one to you. I said, your page. I said, you're on your page. I'm on my page. Hold on, choir. Hold on. I say again. I said, you're on your page, and he's on his page. What good can come from this? In the Bible, it says, bitter and sweet cannot come from the same fountain. God is not the God of confusion. So I say again, when you're on your page and he's on his page and you come together, what good can come from this? So the example that I've shown you today, I said Alabama A&M is on their page. Alabama State is on their page. What good can come from this? Right. But when you are unified in one, and the mayo, I hear the Holy Spirit telling me, when the mayo comes in like a ram in the bush, as a sweeping whim, as the evil, as the serpent of the night, and he tries to come against thee, your togetherness prevents the division. But I say when, okay, Holy Spirit, when you're talking to who you're talking to, and he's talking to who he's talking to, and there is no communication together, then the enemy, like the male that it is, comes in and messes up the whole attempt. So at the core of this, right? Because I hear a lot of family. I hear the Holy Spirit telling me family. I hear the Holy Spirit saying HBCUs are family, right? But in family, as you've all known, you've all watched the movie Soul Food. You've all seen the movie Soul Food, and the grandmother, she goes and she talks to her son and her grandchild, and she says, grandchild, as this, we are not powerful. She said, separately divided, we are weak. But when we come together, but when we come together and we are unified on one accord, we make a mighty fist, which is a mighty blow. Oh, see. You all see Alabama State. Alabama State was on its own accord, led astray by Baal, okay, worshiping a false god. Because if you remember, the Holy Spirit's telling me, if you remember when Moses came back with the tablets, he was upset that the people would have gone and built an idol. Right? So as A&M went to go do their due diligence, thank you, Holy Spirit. As A&M went to go do their due diligence, okay, they come back and see that Ross had already built an idol of ASC. He had already constructed an idol for Gene Hallman. He had already done that. And so you get the your page, you get the my page, and then I said, what good can come from this? There are too many incidences in the Bible which speaks upon unity. Okay? You have to trust in something. Right? And that we are HBCUs, we would usually say we will trust in the Lord, which cometh our help. Look towards the hills that cometh your help. So the fact of the matter is, to me, that Alabama State said we will not trust in our brethren, Cain and Abel. See, a lot of you don't know about the story of Cain and Abel, but I won't go into it. You know, if you want to read it, go to Exodus and read about Cain and Abel. But, or is it Genesis? It's either Genesis or Exodus. Anyway, anywho, right? At the end of the day, you know, what bothers me is how shady it looks like Alabama State moved in this deal, right? And I'm going to say this again. All money is not good money, right? All money is not good money. And I think partnering with, thank you, Deacon Williams. Thank you, Deacon Williams. Thank you, clergy of the cloth. Thank you, clergy of the cloth. You know what I'm saying? No, sir. No, not never. Okay, not never. You know, but it just seems real shady to me. And my conclusion of everything, it smells foul. Okay, it's foul, right? Fair, foul, however you want to call it, fair or foul. To me, it smells foul, and I don't agree with how Alabama State moved in this. I can understand, right, that your haste to get that $1.5 million because you can then speak to, I did what's best for my institution. But did you do what was best for everybody? Did you see? This is the thing. Thank you, God. We as Black people, we aren't in the position to always move for our individual selves, right? Like a lot of things that we as Black people, when we step into different arenas, we are a microcosm or representation of other Blacks. So when you're a part of if you're the only Black person in a C-suite position at your company, you're not just representing you, you're representing other Blacks. And it's sad. It's not right, but it's the truth, right? Because some of these people, this will be the only interaction that they will have with a very successful Black educated person, right? So when you step into these arenas, you have to understand that you're not just representing yourself, right? I'm not just representing the Scott name. I'm representing, Black media, or I'm representing Black education. I'm representing Black HBCU education, right? So when Quinn Ross goes into and makes this agreement, he's not just affecting, thank you, God. He's not just affecting today. He's affecting the possibility of what you could get 5 or 6 years from now. But he's so caught up in today, right? Because you couldn't get the most of what you wanted today in your short-sightedness saying, hey, I'm going to get 1.2 million, right? Today, and then 4 years, you're at 1.2 million. So what are they going to do next year? Give you 1.5? Well, then you're just going to say it was more than last year. Yeah. You're just going to say it was more than last year. But if you would have held tight and held firm and talked this thing out and started at a higher number, right? Because we all know how negotiations work. They give you a number, you give a high number, you meet in the middle. So it's nothing. It should have been nothing for A&M and Alabama State to say, hey, we want $5 million this year each. Right? What are they going to come back and say? 5 million, that's a little tough. 5 million, that's a little tough. And it probably, and 10 million, that's tough. I'm not going to lie. 10 million ain't $10, right? But what you do is you're setting a precedent. You're setting a precedent that we're not going to take this chump change you've been giving us. So 10 million. Okay, that's a little too much. Okay. Hey, that's what we're going to do. I can offer you 3 million a piece. All right, 3 million a piece, right? I love this. I love it, Sanford. You're going where I'm going, right? Right now, this is what you do with the contract. We'll do a 2-year agreement, 3 million, right? Every renewal, not a new contract. Every renewal, if we decide to renew the contract, it's a 25% increase, or a 30 or 50% increase, or however you want to do it, right? Or so like this. This is how I would build the contract, right? 2-year agreement. So 1 year, 3 million for Alabama State, 1 year, 3 million for A&M, right? So that's 6 million. That's 3 million a piece each opposite years, right? So it's like a 2-year opt-out. 1 year A&M gets 3 million, next year. Now, if they agree to the renewal terms, right? So that means within 60 days, let's say it's 60 days of that contract. Within 60 days, if you agree to renew the contract, it is an uptick of 25%, right? So 25%, 45%, it's like a kicker, elevator clause for another 2 years. If you decide to get out of the deal and renegotiate, then it's a whole new contract in itself, right? So that's how you always keep coming up with more. You always come out on top. So you can literally just keep renewing a 2-year agreement. And then when you're done with it, you're like, hey, no, this is done. Or it's so much ways you can flip it. My bad. It's so many ways you can flip it. But when you're so short-sighted, right? When you're so short-sighted in the now, in the present, you lose out. Because now you're starting at a lower price point than you could have been if you were starting at $3 million or $2 million or $3.5 million, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that kills me. So listen, you guys might not agree with me. You might not like what I say. All I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. We're stronger together, right? And you can say, Scotty, what do you mean we? You ain't know what HBCU grad. I went to Claflin. Claflin, we do a little different. We private. We get money, so we ain't tripping off y'all. Anyway, but we're more powerful together than by ourselves, right? And at the end of the day, And if you're tuning in late, I apologize. You might want to go back and watch it. We've had some antics as we do on off script. But the thing for me is this. At the end of the day, we're powerful together than we are separate. But at some point in time, something has to give. Right? And I keep saying this, and the civil rights movement started because of somebody getting tired, being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be tired of being tired. You have to be tired of the foolishness. You have to be tired of the dumb stuff. And you have to be so tired that you're willing to continue the fight even when it's not willing. Even when you don't think you're winning, you still got to continue to fight. You still got to continue to protest. You still got to continue to talk about it. You still got to continue to bring it up. Right? And that is just what has to happen for actual change to occur. But if you sit back and say, hey, this is how it's been, this is what it's going to be, this is what it has to be, or whatever, you're going to keep being in the same situation over and over and over again. Because nobody would feel this way at their job. If somebody at their job kept feeling like they were being underutilized or undervalued, or not getting the promotion that they deserve or the money that you leave, you quit, you find another job, you go find your value somewhere else. Is this not the same thing with HBCUs and promoters? If you don't see our value, we do not need you. And at the same time, HBCUs have to rally around themselves. You cannot say that if it's not in Birmingham, we're not going to go. What sense does that make? What leverage does that give your school? Because you talk about alumni giving. You talk about, being there for my institution, and we give and we give. Giving is in the form of many different values. And if you do not support your school when they're trying to make a financial decision to change their life, then you're truly not a supporter. If you get mad at your institution because they say, listen, Birmingham is no longer beneficial to us, we're going to make this a home and home, you have to rock with your school. Just like you rock with your school with all the dumb shit they be doing, all the dumb contracts they sign, all the dumb stuff that you try to make sense, how you rock with the SWAC commissioner over and over again, over the dumb shit that he signs, over the dumb contracts he signs, over the dumb stuff that he says, over the lies that he talks about, right? You sign for that stuff. You cool with that crap. Scotty, why are you pushing back? This is how you're cool with the dumb stuff. You're cool with the stuff that don't make no sense. You'll ride along with all the bad stuff. But you won't stand up to what is right. When your school finally makes the decision and says, like A&M's like, yo, we not doing the dumb stuff no more. All I ask that A&M alums stand behind their school and say, I don't give a damn if it was 1.5 million. F that, right? We're not doing dumb contracts no more. And I need the AD and Rochelle and President Wims to get in front of this. Explain why you are not going with the $1.5 million. Because that's how you get people behind you, is when you stand up and you tell them, hey, this is the reason why we didn't want to sign that badass contract. And you explain that to your alums. You explain that to the people. So the people can have your back. For your fans or your alums can have your back, right? Because if they're going to ride with you in the bad stuff, let them ride with you when you're right. Let them ride with you when you're making the right choices going forward. But you have to be open. You have to be transparent. And this can't be some super secret mission, right? It can't be no super secret mission of what's going on. You got to come out and be in front of this thing and have some good ass PR, because when you have headlines like this, it make it seem as though you made the wrong decision, A&M. it makes it seem like you made the wrong decision. So you need to get out in front of it and speak to your alums, speak to however you diminish. And I don't give a damn if it's a email. I don't give a damn if it's on the page, alum page, or however you disseminate information. You need to get out in front of it and explain to people what you're trying to do and why you're doing it the way that you're doing it. Because there's no contract signed, so you're not breaking any NDA agreements or whatever. And you're a public institution anyway. That's just my little 2 cents. All right, man. Listen, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time, man. You know, as always, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. That's just how I do it. So listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm a holler. God bless.